There are moments in life when doubt has no place, moments when we realize that only a miracle can unlock the door the world has closed. If you found your way here, it's not by accident. This is the moment your faith will be set into motion, the moment your words will rise with power. Today, I invite you to join this powerful prayer, calling upon the intercession of Saint Anthony of Padua, the saint who never abandons those who trust him. Open your heart, take a deep breath, and let this be the beginning of your miracle. O beloved Saint Anthony of Padua, today I come before you with a heart burdened by the weight of desperation, longing for the touch of a miracle that only heaven can bring. I come not as someone filled with strength, but as one whose spirit has grown weary from the waiting, whose heart is trembling under the pressure of unanswered prayers and the silence that sometimes feels overwhelming. I stand before you today because I have nowhere else to turn, because I know that you, the wonder worker, the gentle messenger of divine grace, have been given by God the power to intercede for the impossible. Saint Anthony, I call upon you today not just with my words, but with every breath that aches for release. I come to you because I believe, yes, I still believe, that miracles are not relics of the past, but living gifts that God bestows upon those who dare to hope. I believe that heaven still opens its doors, that prayers still move mountains, and that through your loving intercession, what seems lost can be found, what seems dead can be revived, and what seems impossible can be made possible. I lift up to you now this urgent need that weighs upon my soul, the situation that feels too great for me to handle alone. You know the details even before I speak them aloud. You know the hidden corners of my heart, the fears I cannot name, the nights spent in restless worry. You see how this burden has drained my energy, how it has overshadowed my joy, how it has left me standing at the edge of my strength. And yet, I bring it to you, Saint Anthony, because I know that you specialize in the impossible. O gentle saint, you who held the infant Jesus in your arms, you who preached the word of God with fire and compassion, you who restored the lost and healed the broken, I beg you now to stretch your hand toward my life. Reach into this situation and begin to move in ways I cannot imagine. Let your intercession be like a key, unlocking doors that have remained closed for too long. Let your prayers rise before the throne of God as incense, carrying with them my deepest petitions, my hidden tears, my whispered pleas. I know that I am not the first to call upon you with trembling lips. I know that many have come before me, standing where I now stand, desperate for intervention, crying out for a miracle. And I also know that you have never turned away those who approach you in faith. Time and again, you have been the bridge between earth and heaven, the channel through which God's mercy flows freely. And so I approach you with the confidence of one who knows that your heart overflows with kindness, that your soul is filled with compassion, that your spirit delights in bringing comfort to the afflicted. Saint Anthony, I surrender this request to you fully, knowing that I can trust you to carry it with tenderness and urgency. I lay down my fears, my doubts, my need to control the outcome. I release everything into your care,
believing that as I pray, the miracle has already begun to take root. I choose to believe that even now, while I speak these words, God is already moving through your intercession. Angels are being dispatched, chains are being broken, barriers are being removed. What once seemed distant is drawing near. What was closed is now opening. O Holy Saint, I ask not only for the miracle itself, but for the grace to wait with hope, the patience to trust in God's perfect timing, and the faith to believe even when the evidence around me suggests otherwise. Strengthen my heart that I may not grow weary in prayer. Remind me that delays are not denials, that silence is not abandonment, and that God's plans are always for my good.
I invite you now, Saint Anthony, into every corner of my situation. Come into my home, into my relationships, into my work, into my health, into every place where I need healing, restoration, and breakthrough. Let your presence fill these spaces with peace, and your intercession prepare the way for the miracle I so urgently seek. Let every moment from this day forward be saturated with your prayers, so that I may walk in confidence, knowing that heaven has heard and is responding. Today, I declare my complete trust in God's mercy and in your intercession. I choose to let go of worry and embrace faith. I choose to release fear and hold fast to hope. I choose to believe that the same God who performed countless miracles through your hands will also perform one in my life. And I promise, Saint Anthony, that when this miracle arrives, I will not keep it to myself. I will speak of your kindness. I will testify of your power. I will glorify God for the miracle that was born through prayer and faith. Thank you, Saint Anthony, for hearing me today. Thank you for standing with me in this moment of great need. Thank you for being the saint of miracles, the friend of the desperate, the companion of all who suffer. I place my heart in your hands now, and I wait with joyful expectation for the miracle that is surely on its way. O beloved Saint Anthony, as I continue this prayer before your sacred presence, my heart begins to feel lighter, not because my miracle has yet arrived, but because your comforting presence reminds me that heaven is never far from those who cry out in faith. In this stillness, I feel something shifting deep within me, a subtle but powerful assurance that my words have not been in vain, that every syllable uttered has been gathered by your loving hands and carried to the feet of God Himself. I no longer stand in the same place of desperation where I began. Though the situation may still appear unchanged, my spirit is already changing. The anxiety that gripped me now begins to loosen its hold. The fear that once dominated my thoughts starts to fade into the background. In its place, something stronger is rising. Faith, steady and sure, growing like a flame that cannot be extinguished by delay or doubt. Saint Anthony, I realize now that every moment of waiting is not wasted. Every second that passes without a visible answer is still a moment in which heaven is moving behind the scenes. You are working on my behalf, even when I cannot see it. God is orchestrating every detail, aligning every piece, preparing the miracle not just for my need, but also for my heart. And now, more than ever, I understand that the miracle is not merely about changing my external circumstances. It is about changing me. Through your guidance, I am learning that miracles are not always immediate bursts of dramatic intervention. Sometimes they are quiet unfoldings, like seeds germinating beneath the soil, unseen but inevitable. You, who have walked alongside countless souls through their seasons of waiting, know this truth well. And so, I ask you now, Saint Anthony, to help me embrace this season of hidden grace. Let me not grow weary in this waiting. Let me not fall back into fear or frustration. Help me to lean into the process, to trust that everything is happening according to divine wisdom. Help me to see that this space between my request and its fulfillment is sacred ground, a place where my faith is strengthened and my trust deepens. Remind me that God is not bound by time or human logic, but works according to perfect love, perfect timing, and perfect purpose. Saint Anthony, you have been called the Saint of Miracles for good reason, but I know that your greatest miracles often come not in thunderous displays, but in the gentle, steady unfolding of divine mercy. Teach me to wait with patience and grace. Teach me to recognize the small signs of hope that God sends along the way, the unexpected words of encouragement, the doors that begin to crack open, the peace that surpasses understanding in the midst of chaos. Let this waiting be my teacher, not my tormentor. Let it refine me rather than harden me. Let it draw me closer to God, not push me away. Let it purify my heart of selfishness, impatience, and pride. And most of all, let it prepare me to fully receive the miracle I have requested, not just as a gift, but as a revelation of God's glory in my life. I ask you now, Saint Anthony, to walk closely with me in this process. Be my companion through every day of waiting. Whisper words of hope when my heart grows heavy. Shield me from the doubts that threaten to pull me away from trust. And when I feel like giving up, remind me that God's delays are not His denials, that every promise spoken over my life is still alive and well, simply awaiting its appointed time. Help me to live as if the miracle is already on its way, to speak with the confidence of one who knows that heaven has heard. Let my words reflect faith, not fear. Let my actions be rooted in trust, not panic. Let my thoughts dwell not on what I lack, but on the goodness of God that is already present and the goodness that is surely coming. Even as I wait, I choose to praise. I choose to thank God in advance for what He is about to do. I choose to celebrate the victory that is already assured through your intercession. I declare now, with unwavering confidence, that this miracle will not only meet my need, but will exceed it. It will come in a way that leaves no doubt about its divine origin. It will be marked by peace, by restoration, by healing, by joy. And when that miracle arrives, yes, I continue to say when, not if, I will not take it for granted. I will remember this time of waiting, this sacred season of longing. I will speak openly of the kindness of God and of your powerful intercession, Saint Anthony. I will testify so that others may also believe, so that others may also learn to wait with hope, to pray with boldness, and to trust without reservation. O holy Saint Anthony, your heart was always open to those in distress. You saw the hidden pains of others and treated them with compassion. I trust you see me now,
and I trust that you are already responding. I trust that you are speaking to God on my behalf with the same tenderness you showed throughout your life. And I know that nothing is too great, too small, or too complicated for heaven to handle through your intercession. So I surrender this entire situation once again into your hands. I let go of every attempt to control the outcome. I release every fear, every doubt, every anxious thought. And in their place, I welcome peace. I welcome trust. I welcome the quiet joy of knowing that the miracle is already on its way. Thank you, Saint Anthony, for walking with me in this time of waiting. Thank you for teaching me that sometimes the greatest miracles happen not when everything changes around me, but when everything changes within me. I will hold on to this truth. I will hold on to you, and together we will wait with hope until the day of breakthrough arrives.
Deep and abiding sense of calm. The storms that once raged within my heart now begin to subside, not because all has been resolved, but because I feel the steady presence of divine grace surrounding me. It is as if you are here beside me, guiding my heart into still waters, reminding me that in every season, whether of abundance or of longing, God remains steadfast and true. There is a quiet beauty in surrendering everything into the hands of heaven. I see now that the act of surrender is not weakness, it is a courageous declaration of faith. It is the bold admission that I do not need to carry the weight of this burden alone, for you, Saint Anthony, along with the heavenly hosts, are interceding for me with unwavering love. You lift my prayers as fragrant offerings before the throne of God, ensuring that not a single tear, not a single plea goes unnoticed. In this gentle surrender, I find freedom. I find release from the relentless pressure to solve everything by my own means. I no longer need to chase after answers with frantic desperation. Instead, I can rest in the assurance that heaven is already at work. You are already moving mountains that I cannot even see. You are already softening hearts, opening doors, and arranging divine appointments that will unfold in perfect timing. Saint Anthony, you who are known for finding what is lost, I ask that you help me rediscover what may have been misplaced within me. My peace, my courage, my unshakable trust in God's goodness. Restore to me the joy of simple, childlike faith, the kind of faith that believes without seeing, that rejoices in hope before any visible sign appears. Teach me to walk in that faith, not as a temporary measure, but as a daily practice that sustains me through every season. Help me to notice the quiet miracles that surround me even now, the breath in my lungs, the beating of my heart, the beauty of creation all around me. These are not small things. They are reminders that I am deeply loved, intentionally created, and tenderly cared for by the one who holds the universe in his hands. Let me never overlook these daily blessings, for they are glimpses of the same divine power that will bring forth the miracle I now seek. I ask, too, for the grace to pray not only for myself, but for others who are also waiting, also hoping, also longing for miracles of their own. Let my heart be widened by compassion, that I may lift their names in prayer with the same fervor with which I pray for my own needs.
In this way, I become part of the great tapestry of love and intercession that binds the hearts of all believers together across time and space. O Saint Anthony, help me to become a vessel of peace wherever I go. Even as I wait for my own miracle, let me bring encouragement to others. Let my words be seasoned with hope, my actions rooted in kindness, and my presence a reflection of the calm assurance that comes from knowing God is near. Let me become, through your guidance, a beacon of light to others who may be walking through their own valleys of uncertainty. Remind me that every act of love, every word of encouragement, every small deed done in faith is itself a seed that will one day bear fruit. Nothing done in love is ever wasted. Nothing offered to God with a sincere heart is ever forgotten. Your life, Saint Anthony, is proof of this truth. You lived with such humility, such selflessness, and yet your name endures through the ages as a symbol of hope and miraculous aid. And so, I ask for your help in becoming more like you, not just a seeker of miracles, but a bearer of them. Let my life be a testimony to God's mercy, a living example of how grace can transform even the most broken places into gardens of beauty and restoration. Let others see in me the quiet strength that comes from trusting fully in divine providence.
Even in this time of waiting, I feel my heart beginning to sing again, not with the temporary songs of fleeting happiness, but with the enduring melody of hope. It is a song that rises from deep within my soul, a song that cannot be silenced by delay or difficulty. It is the song of a heart that knows it is held firmly in the hands of God. I lift this prayer now, not with trembling hands, but with open palms, ready to receive whatever heaven has prepared. Whether it comes in a way I expect or in a form I could never have imagined, I trust that it will be good. For every gift from above is marked by wisdom, mercy, and love. I do not need to know how or when. I only need to know who. Who it is that holds my future. Who it is that answers prayers. Who it is that calls me beloved. Saint Anthony, I give thanks for your unwavering care, for your patient companionship, and for your tireless intercession. You have shown me that miracles are not merely about receiving what I ask for, but about becoming who I was always meant to be: faithful, hopeful, loving, and deeply anchored in God's peace. And so I go forward from this prayer renewed in spirit, my heart steady and my mind at ease. I will continue to pray, not as one desperate for an answer, but as one already confident in the goodness of God. I will continue to hope, not as one afraid of disappointment, but as one already filled with the joy of divine promise. Thank you, beloved Saint Anthony, for reminding me that I am never alone, that heaven is closer than I realize, and that the miracles of God are always unfolding, whether seen or unseen. I carry your words, your example, and your presence with me now, as I step forward into the future with faith as my guide and peace as my companion. Amen.